global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news.
Hello beautiful people, welcome back to our channel. Supreme Court verdict has brought a lot of analysts to the fore. Most human rights activists, lawyers, and of course the likes of Kenneth Okonkwo, who's also a very vibrant lawyer and all that, have started speaking on what may lie ahead of Fubara, River State as a whole. Don't forget that it didn't take up to 24 hours after the Supreme Court verdict that the RSHA, that the River State House of Assembly members went all out on the press, telling Nigerians who care to listen that the next point of call, if Fubara refused to recognize them, will be to impeach him immediately. Then in fact, the head of impeachment is already raised, just to bring it down. Well, as some analysts have said, to look at it critically, and some believe that there's this level of inconsistency in the Supreme Court verdict. We're going to give you all of that in a moment, but before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel. Now, in an interview, the lawyer and human rights activist Lazarus Oshoma analyzed the constitutional process of impeachment, stating that removing Fubara, that's Governor Siminalayi Fubara, from office will be a complex procedure that involves both the legislature, the executive, and even the judiciary. Now, he explained that Section 180 of the Nigerian Constitution outlines a structured impeachment process requiring a 7-member panel set up by the Chief Judge to investigate allegations before any decision is made. Now, this, he argued, ensures due process and adherence to natural justice principles, including the right to a fair hearing. Oshoma contrasted this with past political crises in states like Edo, where impeachment attempts to rush through questionable procedures. He expressed at Governor Fubara not recognizing the 27 lawmakers reinstated by Supreme Court, despite knowing that a legitimate impeachment will be difficult to execute under the constitutional framework. Now, according to him, Fubara's stance risks further instability in the state, even though the impeachment process itself remains a high hurdle for his opponents. The position of impeachment, as spelled out in Section 180 of the Constitution, is a robust provision that requires both the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And the Chief Judge would have to set up a 7-man panel to investigate any allegation raised by the legislature and then make returns ensuring compliance with the 3 pillars of natural justice. You must hear the other side. There must be a defense, unlike those kangaroo processes we saw in Edo and all of that. So I think it will not be that easy for them to impeach the governor, which is why I'm wondering why the governor will not recognize these members, even though he knows that it will be difficult for them to achieve that impeachment, Oshoma says. But of course, the lawyer and actor Kenneth Okonkwo has provided detailed critique of the Supreme Court recent judgment on the River State House of Assembly, urging for greater judicial consistency, while also acknowledging constitutional provisions on defections. Now, Okonkwo stressed the need for legal principle to remain aligned, explaining that judicial rulings should not contradict existing laws. Laws should not be in conflict with each other. They must be consistent to uphold judicial precedent, he stated. Underscored the characteristics of a reliable legal system, asserting that the laws must remain consistent, expressing his stance on the ruling. He added, "A law should be stable, and I do not agree with this judgment." Despite his criticism, he acknowledged that constitutional provisions regarding defections are clear, citing Section 109, subsection 1G of the 1999 Constitution as amended. He emphasized that lawmakers who switch political parties automatically loses their seat. The law explicitly states that defection leads to loss of seat, he pointed out. He backed his argument with evidence stating that these lawmakers themselves admitted to defecting in sworn affidavits. His analysis shed light on legal and constitutional issues surrounding legislative defection, while raising concerns about the consistency of judicial rulings in Nigerian legal system. All right, you've heard what Kenneth Okonkwo said, and Lazarus as well, and they're all looking at the tall order impeachment. Let's tell ourselves the truth. that's exactly where they didn't hide it. They said that if Fubara refused to recognize them, then they are moving for that third order impeachment.
Okay.
What's your take?
Well, impeachment, according to the Constitution, if they respect the Constitution, is not an easy thing. It's not something that can be achieved in one day. Neither can it be achieved even in 2 months, even in 3 months. It can't be achieved.
And there has to be fair hearing.
There must be fair hearing. Now, first of all, the process as seen in the Constitution have it that the notice of that allegation must be in writing sent out to the governor. They will state clearly his gross misconduct and send it across to him. And he has the right, because the Speaker of the House of Assembly must, within 7 days, he will save that to the governor of the state and each member of the State House of Assembly with a copy of the notice of allegation. Now, the governor has the right of reply. And according to the Constitution, in any such statement, the governor will reply to the allegation and he will save it to each member of the State House of Assembly within 14 days of the presentation of the notice to the Speaker of the State House of Assembly. The State House of Assembly shall resolve by motion within any debate whether or not the allegation shall be investigated. This motion needs to be passed by at least 2/3 majority of all members of the State House of Assembly, which I know they already have. Now, if the motion fails to reach the required majority, the process immediately stops and no further action will be taken. But I know that they won't stop it. However, if the required majority is obtained and the motion is passed, then the Speaker of the House of Assembly will, within 7 days of the passing of the motion, request the Chief Judge of the state to appoint a panel of 7 persons who, in their opinion, or who, in his opinion, are of unquestionable integrity. That is the duty of the Chief Judge, which, according to them, they will have to also flush out the Chief Judge. So the process is going to be very lengthy.
Because they will need to first
remove the Chief Judge.
All the commissioners.
Exactly.
All the Chief Judge,
exactly.
they all were given to by.
So the new Chief Judge that the governor himself will send to them, if they will care to approve him, he is the person that will sit back and will appoint 7 men. Set up a panel of 7 men who has unquestionable integrity, and they are the ones to investigate the allegation. And the members of that panel cannot be, number one, a member of any political party. They must not have served in any legislative house. They must not be of public service. In other words, they've never worked. So possibly businessmen, consultants, pastors, and all of that. They are going to be the ones that will form that 7-man panel. Now, this 7-man panel, they will have to report their findings within 3 months. So you give them ample chance for them to, and those 7 men you are going to bring in will not be influenced by them, by the legislature. It will be the duty of the CGN, that is the Chief Judge of the state, to decide who to bring in.
Goodness.
So within 3 months, they will have to report their findings to the State House of Assembly. During the proceeding of the panel, the governor shall have the right, they will call the governor, to come and defend himself, and shall also have the right to be defended by a legal practitioner of his or her choice. So the team of legal practitioner responsible to the governor may decide to be the one to take the responsibility of responding. They will be invited. So they will come out and they will state their reasons one after the other. Now, within the panel, when the panel report that the allegation has not been proven, there will be no further action. However, if the report is that the allegation against the governor has been proven, then the State House of Assembly will consider the report, and a resolution for the adoption of the report shall be moved. For the motion for the resolution to be adopted, it must be supported by not less than 2/3 majority of all the members of the State House of Assembly, which they already have. Once adopted, the governor shall stand removed from the office as from the date of the adoption of that report. But guess what? There are a lot of consequences in removing the person called the governor, because he wasn't elected by one man. He is the number 1 man of the state. Now, the consequences of this is that if by any means they kick him out of office, the first thing that will happen is that the office of the governor will be passed to the incumbent deputy governor, and he would take the oath of office. Now, once the resolution is adopted, there is no recourse to any court of law or judicial proceeding. The governor cannot challenge the decision of the panel of the State House of Assembly. Where the governor is impeached and the office of the deputy governor is vacant as at the time, then the Speaker of the State House of Assembly shall hold the office of governor for a period of not more than 3 months, during which there shall be an election of a new governor. That's the position of the Constitution. So I know that based on what we've seen thus far, the intent will be to remove both of them, him and the deputy. But there is no provision, because whatever impeachment you're carrying out is strictly on the governor. He was the decision maker in everything. So you don't have the right to remove the deputy governor.
Now, if they can rope it in such a way that they're able to remove Fubara, then they will definitely rope it, because they don't need the woman.
Exactly.
They all came as a full ticket.
Yes, exactly.
Amaewhule will want to be the governor.
Yeah, he will want to be the governor, so that he start running things the way he wants it to be run and control everything. But then it's not going to be an easy process.
Looking at even the process, it's going to take more than 3 months.
Yes,
and that 3 months is more than enough for Fubara's case about their defection to come in.
If judiciary will be fair to him. Because everything is in the hands of the judiciary. They can be throwing out the person who is on board up and down. That's the person handling the case can be shifting the case,
and they can even literally even transfer the person handling the case out of that case and bring another person to.
And also, we've seen a lot of things happen. We don't know what the position of the Supreme Court will be, because even if there is expedited action about the issue of the appeal, don't forget that this same appeal has been rejected by the Federal High Court.
Yes.
The first one, the one that is in the appeal now, was rejected by Federal High Court on some grounds that they will not impeach, blah, 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 blah. So they now had to go to appeal. But the issue of representation in the appeal, that's for PDP in the appeal, was the issue, because the federal was sending in his representative while the state was sending in his representative. So at the point they said no, the federal, they should go, both of them should go and decide on what to do.
That matter has been on
and off, on and off, and on and off. And don't forget that Wike is trying to control the whole PDP, and he's running left, right, center, and all. So it's going to be quite a long one, I must say.
Well, we are going to be here. Keep watching, and let's see how it plays out. That's we're going to wrap it up.